Hey dude, I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick example of this so you can see what we're working with here. So just give me a second to make a quick walk cycle, which is the first step. We'll go ahead and make it 120 frames long. So we'll go ahead and we'll just do it on the feet just to keep things simple. Alright, so here's our quick and dirty walk cycle. So as I said, the animation needs to loop. So to make an animation loop, you do that in the graph editor, window, animation editors, graph editor. Select your curves, and go ahead and do go ahead and go ahead and flatten those tangents so they loop better. And then grab all the curves and do curves pre-infinity cycle, curves post-infinity cycle. So now we'll just go on forever. Okay. So now we have some animation curves. I'm going to go ahead and graph the inputs of these controls I have selected, so you can see the anim curves that are driving them. Okay, so these anim curves are driving this control. So what I want now is I want a right now these are all driven by time. I guess I can't see the input, but their incoming connection is time, and we want to overwrite that with a multiply divide node. So I've written a quick script for you. I'll go ahead and post it on the forums, but pretty much what you do is you first you'll create a multiply divide node, or whatever node you want, but I like to use the multiply divide node, and this is what's going to drive these animation curves. So then you take note of the multiply divide node name. I have multiply divide 5. Select your animation curves, and then use the script. So it's just a very simple script, and then right here you'll replace multiply divide 5 with whatever your multiply divide node is called, and then it's going to do it on the anim curves you have selected. So make sure you have the anim curves selected, and then go ahead and run the scripts. And what this is going to do is this is going to connect the anim curves input to the output X of the multiply divide node. So if you grab that multiply divide node, you should now be able to scrub the animation. If you look, I'm just moving I'm not moving the timeline editor, I'm moving this value. So now he's procedurally walking with this multiply divide node. So now, as you stated in your post, you wanted it to be driven by the main null. So let's just go ahead and call this my main null. So I can actually just I could do a set driven key or a distance node, or whatever. Let's go ahead and just do another multiply divide node. So just grab this guy, duplicate him, and then we're just going to hook it up real quick and dirty to the translate Z, I believe. Yeah. So we'll graph, add selected to graph. So we'll say your output single translate Z is going to be input 1 X, and then the output of this is going to go to our driver multiply divide node. Output X is input 1 X. Alright, so now when I move this, translate Z, input X, to input X. Should be working. Oh, it is working. It's just that's why we do a multiply divide node. It's not strong enough. As you can see, the animation is barely playing. So just crank this multiply divide up until you find a value that works right. And there's your procedural animation pipeline. And again, this is just extremely quick and dirty. You can continue to polish it. There's ways to actually find this value more accurately, so you can get it 100% accurate. You can get it from the animator or what have you. But this stuff's pretty cool. And then what you can do once you have it all set up is you could like attach this thing to like a motion path. So then you just have him constrained to a motion path and walk him through it. And then as he walks through it, he does his animation automatically. And I think that's what you want. Please feel free to contact me if you have any more questions.